Hello, my name is Sophie Bédard. I'm from Quebec City. I work at Cirque du Soleil as a head of wardrobe. I came to the costume world with theater and opera and ballet, but Cirque is a very different world. At Cirque du Soleil, the creative process is the same, start the same way as any theater show. It starts with drawing. We are looking into making a character from a drawing. Drawing costs less money to refuse than a full costume. So we work on the shape what we want, and then we determine what fabric is going to be used. That's the difference from any other show, is that the costume is going to be used for performance, for acrobatic. So then we change the fabric relatively to what we needed to do. So for example, of course, when we have unitard like this, we can imagine that the acrobat is going to do flex, is going to need to have very free movement. If we look at those kind of costume, there is less movement possible, but the fiber used is more theatrical and a little bit more rich. Sometimes we actually use two kinds of fabric in one costume to have the theatrical part, but still be super comfortable. So on the side here, we have the same print on a very different fabric. That's something that also Cirque is very specific about, where we print all of our fiber. So we use a fiber that most of the time starts with white, and then we do serigraphy, we do many, many different kind of processes to get the rich costume that you know at Cirque du Soleil. Alegria is a show that was redone in a very theatrical kind of way. On this show, we tried to use a little bit less of the embroidery and more of let's try to use something that exists already. So we have costumes like the Bronx that are the general population of our show that are detailed with a different net, closer to badminton net. And we have a net here that is more rough and solid, like a football or ice hockey net. We have in the fake shake, so the fake shape, like the bottom of, you will see some character have bigger butt, bigger breast, and the fabric that is used is more like either a fish tank filter, or this one is more like covers for car seats, that it's material that leave the water go down. So when we wash it, it doesn't keep the water inside. It's not like foam. It's something that actually drains very easily and dry very quickly. Also, it's the same for when the artists are sweating. It doesn't absorb the sweat so much. So it's more comfortable for everyone. More light also. Alegria in a new light was actually designed by the same designer that did the first Alegria. What was quite interesting for the designer was to revisit the same character. The director of the show wanted to have something a little bit more cinematographic versus theatrical. The old mask of Alegria. When you look at the main aristocrat, so they were the old bird, they had a full leather mask that you could not see the character underneath, could not see who was underneath the costume. Where now, the mask is tiny. You always will recognize who is there. And it's the same for the makeup. The makeup is very delicate. It is a theatrical makeup, but it's made in which way that you will always recognize the person that is wearing it. So here we have the singer in black. which is a beautiful character. On this version of Alegria, she actually is the leader of the new world. We have here her costume. It's the idea is to have like the singer in white, bring a new, accompany us to the story, but also bring a new wind of change, really. And so her cage is broken, she's coming out of something for the new world.
Mi chiamo Davide Comuzzi, sono l'assistant head of lighting di Alegria. Il mio percorso all'interno del Cirque è cominciato un anno fa. Sono stato contattato da Stefano Visentin, che è l'head of lighting di Alegria, il quale mi ha chiesto se ero interessato a ricoprire il ruolo di assistente. Così la mia avventura all'interno del Cirque è cominciata, dopo aver sostenuto 2 interviste con Stefano e con Michel, il capo tecnico di allora, è andata bene ed eccomi qua. Teniamo conto che tutto lo spettacolo, tutta l'illuminazione dello spettacolo è fatta da apparati LED per ridurre l'impatto ambientale. Consideriamo che noi abbiamo dei generatori di corrente che purtroppo vanno ancora a gasolio e quindi aver sostituito tutte le lampade a incandescenza e a scarica ci consente di consumare moltissima meno energia e di ridurre di moltissimo l'impatto ambientale. Gli apparati luminotecnici che utilizziamo sono assolutamente all'avanguardia. Il fatto di utilizzare delle teste mobili comandabili e gestibili dalla console riduce di moltissimo anche il rischio di incidenti, perché non sei più costretto ad arrampicarti su una scala per puntare ogni singolo faro e ogni singola luce che serve allo spettacolo. La differenza sostanziale tra lavorare in un contesto come quello del Cirque du Soleil e il teatro classico è che nel teatro classico tu devi adattare la scenografia allo spazio. In Italia abbiamo teatri che hanno boccascena di 16 metri e teatri che hanno boccascena di 6 metri. E la bravura del tecnico sta nell'adattare e nel restituire ogni volta la stessa immagine allo spettatore, in ogni situazione. Mentre qui il contenitore è sempre lo stesso. Ciò significa che il margine di errore, la concentrazione che noi dobbiamo avere è maggiore rispetto a quella che si trovava in situazioni in cui ho lavorato precedentemente. Qui non c'è margine d'errore, un errore piccolo può costare caro, non solo a noi ma anche agli artisti. La cosa che mi appassiona di più nel lavorare qui al Cirque du Soleil è la possibilità di confrontarmi ogni giorno con dei grandissimi artisti e con dei tecnici di caratura mondiale. Cioè, qui abbiamo l'elite della tecnica. Il fatto di potermi confrontare con loro e di imparare ogni giorno qualcosa di nuovo è impagabile, non ha prezzo.
My name's Rachel Lancaster. I'm the artistic director here at Alegria. In 2019, the company reworked Alegria. It's one of the best loved shows of the company. And one of the reasons the decision was made to bring it back after it had closed in 2014 was because people still had very strong feelings about the original show. So the company took the decision to really look at all the aspects of the show, the music, the acrobatic content, and the storyline and the costumes and the lighting to really explore how it could be reimagined for an audience in 2019. It was originally created in 1994, so that was nearly 30 years later. So one of the foundations of Alegria is the music. So there is a rework in the music, but there's a strong sense of familiarity. Alegria is a show about feelings and how it makes you feel. This is a universal topic, so there was a lot of the work was how to recreate those feelings, but in a new way. The essential tools that you use as an artistic director is to try to help people to understand what the message is that they're trying to give when they're on stage. We want our audience to leave feeling a certain way and having a certain understanding of the show. But if the artists and the acrobats going on stage don't understand why they're there, it's extremely hard to tell a story well. The root of Cirque du Soleil is all of our storytelling is non-verbal. There's very few words. Even in the scores of many of our songs, Alegria does actually use real language, but often it's a made-up language because it's about ideas and emotions that we're trying to evoke. The sound, the costume, the lighting, the technical elements of the show are incredibly important. And it's something we spend a lot of time fine-tuning, evolving, to really make the artists as comfortable as possible in the space. But the foundation of the show is human performance. So all of these moving parts are there to support the high-level human performance that you see on stage. Cirque du Soleil has its own casting process. We have an entire department who spend a lot of time scouting musicians, acrobats of many different disciplines, actors, clowns, singers, dancers. So when we're looking for new artists, this is always our starting point. We work closely with the casting department. If we know somebody is planning to not extend or renew a contract in the long term, we start working 6 months to a year ahead, hopefully to replace people. So, for example, usually the first start on any artist's journey when they join the company is to spend some time in Montreal. There they can have a dedicated team to really teach them every aspect of the show. All of the costumes are almost like couture costumes. Everything is made specifically for that one person. And this takes a lot of time and investment to get to that point. Once they are rehearsed and ready to come to the show, the first steps are they come to tour. We get them to see the show live because that's all. They've been watching a lot of videos, playing in studios with ghosts and imaginary people, and that's where we start to piece together what they've learned in the studio. Also with all of the backstage and the other action that they have to learn to be able to go out and perform a full show in front of an audience. Many people describe arriving on tour a little like jumping on a moving train, because the show at that point is still running, we still have a show to present, so the transition process is always quite slow. I think the biggest challenge with Alegria is because everybody has very strong feelings and very strong opinions about those feelings, but also that's one of the benefits, I think, in a way. It's what really drove the through line of the recreation was about how to make people feel the way they felt in their memories. So we still work hard to grab hold of that audience, to take them on a journey of imagination, of storytelling, of acrobatics, of movement and beauty, so that when people leave the big top, they feel like they've been moved. They take those experiences home with them, and hope it just removes people out of your everyday life for 2 hours of that day. So Cirque du Soleil is very invested in both evolution of technologies and evolution of shows. There's a separate team who really, that is what they do all day long. There's a separate team in IHQ that work exploring new technologies. Often the company has invested in many of those technologies at early stages to be able to incorporate them into shows. I think the company is well set up for that evolution, but at the same time, what is incredibly important to the company is the element of human performance. It's what the company does best, and it's what it has always excelled in. And I think it's matching those two things of what makes it an exciting company for the audience. Nothing can ever replace the feeling of when you see an artist in the air, only 20, 30 meters away from you. You can't help but connect to that. I don't think it's possible for technology to replace that.
Hi guys, my name is Oyuner Densenge and I'm from Mongolia. And I'm a contortionist and a hand bouncer here on Alegria. I started doing contortion when I was 6 years old in Mongolia. And then when I was 11 years old, I joined Cirque du Soleil as a professional contortionist. which is very young age. And so yeah, my journey with Circus started, professional life started that age, and it was a very interesting experience to grow up as a kid on the road as well, because of course sometimes you're away, mostly you're away from your family, so sometimes you miss them, so that was a bit harder part. But at the same time, you were going to so many new countries, experiencing so many cultural, historical things, so that was a really cool experience. And yeah, so I've done 4 different shows with Cirque du Soleil, and I started with original Alegria, and now I'm back on my new Alegria, so it has been definitely a very special experience coming back to New Alegria. It's a very special feeling when they call me back to join Alegria, because it's a show I grew up on, so it has so much memories, so much my heart was in that show, and it felt like home, right? Because Alegria, being there the first 10 years of my life, it really shaped who I am. It really made me grow into becoming a professional artist, made me become a better contortionist, better artist on stage as well. So to coming back, it just felt like a full circle. And so that felt really special. And now that I'm older and more mature, and I can also do a different style of act on this new Alegria, was really special. So I created the act for this show, and now it's a little bit very different than the original version, but it has been really fun experience, and now I just really enjoy to perform for the people as a older, as an adult, so it's just been a really fun experience, just because now I'm way more confident, I'm way more stable, way more just having fun on stage, and also knowing my art and knowing my body even more. So just performing contortion has also been really fun. When you're a kid, you just you just do it, and sometimes you do a little mistake here and there, or you're just excited, or you're sometimes distracted by so many things, that the emotions. But now I'm just really enjoying just being on that stage and performing for the people. So for sure, being, first thing you learn is to learn the skills and the technical side of it. And I think as an artist, once you know how to do those skills, and once you've done it 1,000 times and you're so confident in yourself that you can do that skill, that's when you start to, I think, play with the emotions and play with the audience. And I think that also experience comes with just years of also performing and being on stage, and which I'm lucky with, that I had so many years of performing on stage. So now I'm able to also really focus on my emotions and to connect. And for me, the important part is not only to show the skills that I can do, but it's to really connect with the audience when I'm performing, and to share that, because I'm giving so much and trying to give them so much emotion and skills at the same time, but the audience also gives me energy back. So the best part is to really to feel the energy and to look at the audience and to have that connection, or a glimpse here, and to connect with someone. Or so you learn to play with the emotions a lot as you get more and more years on stage, and really actually enjoying that part right now.
Bueno, pues el hecho de ser amigos hace que lo que la gente llama una química entre nosotros sea muy natural, muy fácil de conseguir, y no tenemos ni que esforzarnos en ese aspecto.
Sí, es muy fácil trabajar juntos. Después de más de 20 años siendo amigos, vamos al escenario y solamente nos dejamos llevar por lo que está ocurriendo, porque somos como un matrimonio de estos antiguos que ya saben todo, lo bueno y lo malo, y así pues nos lo pasamos bien y podemos crear muy fácilmente.
Y podemos entender lo que la otra persona está pretendiendo hacer, o si tiene algún problema, o si tiene alguna idea. Es muy fácil poder entender al otro sin tener que hablar.
Bueno, en nuestra parte como clowns en el espectáculo, en este espectáculo en particular, los números que tenemos hacemos reír a la gente, pero también tenemos una historia emocional. Entonces lo que intentamos es como esta mezcla de que el público se esté riendo, pero que también el corazón se le haga grande, ¿no? Se le ensanche el corazón y sientan que quieren conectar con esta historia que tenemos, riéndose, pero también emocionándose.
Siempre es una tentación para el payaso hacer reír, pero es importante saber también que la risa sola no llega muy lejos y el hecho de contrastarla con otras emociones hace que todo tenga mucha más potencia. Todo está escrito, pero también podemos improvisar en caso de necesidad. También el público gasta mucho dinero, entonces tampoco puedes hacer lo que te dé la gana. Tienes que intentar mantener la mayor calidad posible. Entonces improvisas en caso de necesidad o en caso de repente que te venga una iluminación de las musas.
Nosotros hemos creado los números, o sea que sabemos muy bien qué es lo que buscamos, porque lo hemos creado por improvisaciones, ¿no? Pero ahora los números están, digamos, cerrados, pero hay una parte abierta, en particular hay un número, por ejemplo, que cogemos a alguien del público y esa parte está abierta a la improvisación. Y entre nosotros también, cuando necesitamos cambiar ciertas cosas de los números, también nos dejamos una pequeña parte abierta, que ocurran cosas en el escenario que den nuevas bromas, ¿no? Nuevos gags cómicos a nuestros números. Pero los números están más o menos medidos y establecidos.
De todas maneras, desde cuando lo estrenamos hasta ahora, siguen siendo los mismos números, pero han cambiado mucho. Depende, hay días que van surgiendo cosas, el público de repente parece que se ríe y eso son pistas que nos dan para ir descubriendo nuevos gags o nuevas pequeñas improvisaciones que podemos desarrollar. Entonces, está todo ya hecho, pero estamos con las orejas abiertas para ver cómo podemos enriquecer eso.
Es como si tienes la estructura de un edificio, esa está siempre ahí, pero cada vez podemos pintar las paredes de un color distinto.
¡Qué bonito!
¿Cuál color es la alegría?
El color de alegría, sería el verde
azulado,
esperanza,
turquesa,
verde pasión.
Well, yeah, I come from a third-generation circus family. So to me, growing up in the circus world or industry, it's amazing, you know, because it gave me so much inspiration to see what type of artist I wanted to become, you know, seeing so many performers, so many people that have been here for years, they get doing this and become part of them. It's just an inspiration. It's a great example for you to really get inspired to be the type of artist that I think I am today. When you have passion for something, you need to have as well determination for it, because passion and motivation, yeah, is the beginning of everything, is the spark of everything. But without discipline and without that consistency of really going out for your dreams and your goals, well, that's really just a dream. So I put every single day the effort of becoming better at what I do, training as much as I can, consistency and the discipline of this career that is really demanding. But definitely discipline is what my family has taught me the most. It takes a lot. It's a lot, you know. Again, maintaining an act like this, being the last act of this show, Alegria is already an iconic and an amazing show. And to maintain the audience with that excitement and that adrenaline, we have to work for hours every week, train for many hours prior to our shows, just to be able to see and to deliver in an 11-minute act to the audience everything that we have learned over the years and show them, you know, these dreams of flying really do come true. But it is definitely a lot of hard work. Besides the feats that we do up there, there are very unique feats and very high-level tricks. The highest level tricks that you're gonna find around the world in any show, they are here. But not only that, is that we have brought two flying trapeze acts together, making this act very dynamic. So that means two flyers flying at the same time, performing these very hard tricks, acrobatic tricks at the same time simultaneously. But one of the other things that we do very special in this act is that we fly in synchronization. So you're gonna see two tricks flying exactly at the same time, like if it's a mirror, you know, a flyer to flyer, mirror to catcher, mirror. And already doing an acrobatic with a synchronization is already hard enough, especially in a flying trapeze act. So I believe we have brought that very unique, special feat in this show. And I think the audience really responds amazingly to it.